Hi guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I do animate eyes. There's several ways I do animate eyes, but for this tutorial, I think I'm just going to be focusing on a regular female eye, something very basic that is easy to follow for everyone. I'm not claiming to be the best, I just love digital art. So this is how I do it. So we're just going to be starting off with a basic sketch. Anime eyes and real human eyes are technically the same. There are parts that you have to put on both. Anime eyes and human eyes both have eyebrows. They both have eyelids. You got the iris, the pupil, the sclera, the lower eyelids. So those elements are going to be incorporated to the anime eyes. And so the first thing that I like to do when I start off with the eyes is I would usually like to draw the top eyelids first, the upper eyelids. There are several ways that you could do this, but most of the time it's something like an arch like this. It's basically like a letter C. As you can see, it's a bit thick because you basically using putting more layers to it for the eyelashes. Now, how thick you want it to be is up to you, your art style or whatever. For this sample, I'm just gonna go and do this thickness right here. Um, some people like to do it with, a rounder shape like this. Some like to do it with a bit of more of an arch like this. And some people like to do it like that. But yeah, basically, whichever um arch you decide, it really depends on your character. Mostly the characters with soft rounded arch are like, sweet. They're very timid, or they're like the quiet ones and whatnot, and those with the arch ones, which is basically something like this, or a bit more, um, let's say feisty, a little bit more challenging, a fighter, a tsundere, something like that. So really, it all depends on the personality of the character that you're trying to make. So let's go back here. And then what I like to do next is I like to draw the iris. So it also depends on your style as well. But basically this is going to be a big round shape like so. I like to thicken the outer lines like that. And then, yeah, just like that. So it's basically like an oval shape. Now, it doesn't have to be oval shaped. It really just depends on your art style or how your character is. Just that I wanted to show you how I do it regularly. Um, so there you go. So there you go. This is like a basic setup of the eyelid, the iris, and don't forget about the lower eyelids. Some people like to just, put lashes like so, or put it like a lower eyelid like that. Some people like to make it a bit sharper. It depends on your character again. I usually like it to put the lower eyelids last, so I basically just do this and then stylize the upper eyelids again. I like to put lashes on. If it's a girl, I add a lot of lashes. I love eyelashes even on my makeup. I love mascara, and then you do that. The next thing is that you're gonna do is this is basically the crease. This one right here, you don't have to, but it actually adds it to the eye. And then always remember that the eyebrow is going to affect your character's mood and expression. It's not just how your eye looks like. So, for example, if you have an eyebrow that goes like this, it's just basically like something like you're smiling and whatnot, or if your eyebrow is a bit downwards like this, your character looks mad. If your eyebrow looks like this, character is sad. So yeah, it's very important when you're trying to make an anime eye. So here, I think I'm just gonna do like a regular one. You can thicken this up or you could just leave it as is. When I am a bit lazy, I just leave it as one line, but if you wanted to stylize it a bit, you could, add a bit of the thickness to the eyebrow and just clean it up. This is like a rough sketch anyway, so that's fine. But be careful with thick eyebrows, because usually in animes, thick eyebrows is basically for male characters. Most of the time, you see male characters are the ones with thick, really thick eyebrows. So maybe just cut a little bit if you're not used to, making eyebrows for your characters. I suggest just use one line and then, slowly evolve into adding a bit of a thickness to it, like so. It's not as thick as earlier. I also like it too, as you can see, I made another layer for the eyebrow just because I like to tweak the eyebrows. Like, for example, I drew it right and then I'm like, oh, the positioning is not good. So I'm just gonna go press Control T, and then now I can actually move the eyebrows and place it the way I want to. And it's one of the cheats that you can use doing digital art. Anyways, let's go back into this one. I usually like to leave eyes like this blank. I don't like usually when I'm just drawing on paper, I would, draw the pupils and then add the highlights like so, and then just to stylize it, maybe the put stuff inside that will make it shine, and basically just style it as is. But when it comes to digital art, and if I plan on painting it, I would just leave this blank. Now, if you wanted to color it, the most basic one would be, let's go for, um, colored eyes are actually much easier for me to paint, because when it comes to black and browns, it's kind of hard, especially if you have no idea with color theory and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and just do something very simple. You want to I like to usually use the wand tool and then fill in like the base color, making a separate layer and then another layer. I'm just going to be um I usually go towards the red, so let's go click this and then drop that there. So that's gonna be our next color. You could just, okay, that did not work. You use this one and then, okay, so I guess this is like the first time I use this pencil. So let's go ahead and change it. Let's go for, I know a lot of people love the G pen. I don't enjoy using that. I like to use the mapping pen just because I draw really how do you say this? The way I draw is very light. So if you can see here, like it's too big and whatnot. I think I have more control using the mapping pen instead of the G pen. So it really just depends on your preference. Doesn't mean that everyone, since everyone is using the G pen, you have to use that. No, it really just depends on which um pen you're comfortable using. So you can see lately this is how I've been doing my eyes. I like to draw something like so, like a letter C inside. Yeah, so I do like a letter C inside, and then I would put it in multiply, and then I would put another layer, and I would choose this and then clip it, and then I would go to use a airbrush with the same color and just go through it like that and put it in multiply. So as you can see, it shaded it, and then another layer, shade it like that, and then go back to multiply. As you can see, it creates this really awesome gradient on that photo, and then you could go back to your mapping tool, or if you want to be fancy, if you're using Clip Studio Paint as well, you can always use the Eclipse tool right here and create a shape like so. Again, we'll go and make it. Okay, so I messed that up. I to input make it into that one. Well, you can always move it since it's another layer, and then put it in multiply, and then do another layer, clip it, and then choose a darker shade of black. It's basically just you creating different layers until you get something that you like. So there you go. And then you could put on the, and then as you can see, we already have a really nice gradient here. If you want to be a little bit fancy, you can always add more to it. For example, I would go to get a lighter shade of blue. I'm going to go use the airbrush again, change my size, put put the blue underneath here. You can always do glow dodge or add glow or color dodge. Depends on what effect you want it to get. As you can see, it kind of added depth to our eye. You can change the opacity if you're not satisfied with that. And then a few things that you can also do is you can add a bit of a darker tone on the side, like so. I just use the soft airbrush tool and do shade that, and then again multiply. As you can see, the eye changed as to this one, and then it added more depth and character to the eye. And as you can see, it kind of looks good, right? So what we want to do is add a bit of color, add a bit of a glow to it. I love to use the airbrush again, but hard, and then put like a glow right here. Or for example, if our light source is coming this way, then you would want the light to shine this part. And then maybe add a light here, and then put random circular dots on your eye. And I usually switch to add glow. As you can see, our eyes looks a lot more alive than when it was not on the add glow. See the difference between normal and add glow? It makes the eyes pop even more, as you can see it there. You also have the option of going color dodge or glow dodge, and then you could go back to add glow. But I think you know what? Yeah, you could do this, and then I kind of liked how it looked here. So what I'm gonna do is add another layer, and then we will just leave it in glow dodge, and then we could put another on top of this and do it as add glow. And then there you go, your basic anime eye. We can, but don't forget about the white part, okay? So what you want to do is I would usually just use a soft airbrush, and then there you go. And then what I like to do is I would add another layer on top of that. I like to use a light purplish color and swipe it like so, change it to multiply, and then change the opacity just to give it that shade there. It adds a bit more of a depth to the eye again, as you can see without, without, with. Now let's see how it looks like under a, skin tone color. Because I usually like to use gray on my background. It kind of helps with my eye strain, so it's not so bright. So there you go. Let's go ahead and shade it like so. There, that's what it looks like. And if you wanted to add that lower lid, go back to your original color. So we could do this, or we can do that, or you could do something like that. And don't forget the lower lashes, and then you just add a bit more touches to it. And there you go. Your anime eyes. Let me just put a little bit of color to it. This is just basically, we're just gonna basically shade it a bit. Oops. So yeah, so that's how I do my eyes. Well, that's the basic one. It's not like the full, because I like to change eyes. It really just depends on the character that I'm trying to draw, to portray, to create. I think this eye is perfect for someone who is very sweet, timid, and basically, if you know Genshin Impact, it kind of reminds me of Barbara's eyes. But it doesn't have to stop there. You can always add elements to it. Like for example, um, sometimes I like to have a little fun with the eyes, so I would do like a heart shape over here. Change this to add. Um, let's change it. Like add go like a bit of a heart, or maybe a star. Just it adds the element to it. You don't be afraid to put on something fun. Like for example, if you're using clip art, there's a bunch of other stuff that you can put underneath it. Like for example, this brush right here, which adds stars to the eyes, and then just change the layer, and you could have like stars, or you could add like hexagons on it and stuff like that. It's really fun. One of the things that I love about drawing is actually drawing the eyes, because it gives the character so much more life. So yeah, again, don't be afraid to play around it. Remember, the shape of the eye depends on the character's personality, and yeah, that's about it. Now you could also like change the lash color if you want to. I know so you guys can see like some people who um like to change the color of the lashes first, like maybe lighten it a bit, like so, like this. Oops. So you always need to press this one right here if you're using Clip Studio. So it'll only shade the um areas with that are already drawn. So okay, so yeah, just if you wanted to change the color, make it a bit lighter, we could do that. Or just stylize it a bit. It really all depends on you and your art style. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's it. That's a very, very easy way on how I do basic anime eyes. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm so sorry if I kept on rambling. I hope you got something out of this. I am not a professional again. I just love digital art. I am learning as well as I go. And yeah, I hope to see you guys soon on my next video. If you guys have any questions, requests, concerns, or whatnot, don't be afraid to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell button to get notified. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!